Hi. Sorry about that. I just had to let my dog out for a second. Um, so today we don't really have any content. This is more of just a question and answer review before your finals next week. So I'll just be here for an hour. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to put the Google form out in the chat just now. Um, just to get that extra credit point if you haven't gotten it already. But yeah, fire away, ask me any questions. Cool, if I could have music associated with Twitch, I totally would, but I don't know how to do that. So yeah, this is just a Q&A. I'm going to go ahead and just share my notebook. This is just going to be a plain screen. So, dude, you're the best. Yeah, so whatever questions you guys have, shoot. If you don't, that is just fine as well. We got a question about whether rhizobia interactions. So the question says, on the exam, we got a question about whether rhizobia interactions are the first plant microbe interaction. Is that true? Let me look at my notes. Yeah, that's hard. That's what I was thinking too. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Was that I'm pretty sure that there have been other symbionts before that, and that it's just that eventually. Yeah, that's really hard. Because I also never, when I learned about rhizobia in bio, it was never taught to me as the first plant microbe interaction, just because we have cyanobacteria, we have a bunch of other things like that help with photosynthesis, that help with metabolism, and rhizobia generally are aiding in nitrogen fixation within the soil with the roots. So shoot, I guess I don't know the answer to that question. Let me do some extra research. Can I ask what test you took in terms of which professor, just to have a more specified question to ask, or like I can just email the professor directly about that. Dr. Reddy, exam 3. Dr. Reddy. Interesting. I had her. I never got that question. Um, okay. I emailed her, so hopefully she gets back to me. But that's what I'm also thinking is that, and yes, totally, I can check your attendance record for you. Um, the only thing that's stumping me is that when plants evolved, right, they were mainly aquatic organisms, and so it doesn't necessarily mean that they still didn't need nitrogen back then, and so there might have been rhizobia present that were able to give nitrogen to those early life plants. But I also just, in my gut, don't feel as if they were the first. So I double checked and emailed her. I don't want to give you guys answers that I'm not aware of myself. But I also think that you all are on the right track in terms of which interactions, like mycorrhizae, rhizobia, that sort of thing. So I'm going to double check on that. I'm sorry, guys. I really like to be helpful, and I hate when I don't know everything. But it also bugs me when I get an answer from someone who also is like, I don't know, you know. So let me look up that live stream attendance for you. And so for your question about attendance, I have 5 for you. I'm going to do more research on the first plant microbe interaction. Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah, that's hard. It's not even, I'm not finding it in my micro textbook. That's where I was looking next. Can anyone recall the question that asked about the leaves with question that asked about the leaves with the seasons? Yeah, if anybody can give also verbatim questions too for other students, that was awesome. And to answer the question that says, regarding gymnosperm reproduction, because they don't undergo double fertilization, their seeds don't have an endosperm. Is that correct? And if so, do those seeds not survive very long? So you are correct. Gymnosperms, actually, they do lack a endosperm. And so what it has instead to kind of help it survive, because it doesn't, though it is lacking an endosperm, it's not, it is still able to survive. It has tissue in its embryo that actually has nutrition in it, and it helps it grow and germinate within the seeds. So it has its own little nutrition packet within its seeds, and doesn't need an endosperm to succeed. So yeah, you are correct. I hope that clears it up. Oh, I should be writing this down. Sorry, I had my tablet open and I'm not even. Okay. Lax, endosperm, and there are nutrients within its seed to help germinate. Twade. It's not a word. To aid in. So the embryo terms. Not quite like the embryo itself. It's more to draw a picture. If this is seed, okay, that's not even a good circle. So if this is the seed, you can think of like the little embryo being here, but there's also other stuff within the seed that's nutrients. So that this guy can eat that up and use it to germinate. So it's not necessarily the ovary turning into the fruit. If you, trying to think about a better way to describe this. So, sorry, this is not supposed to be diploid. Right here is just supposed to be nutrients within inside the seed. Maybe that wasn't the best way to draw that. But basically, when a seed is put into existence, it basically goes with its own traveling kit. Like it has nutrients, it has its own water, it has everything that one would need to go into the desert and survive. So I'm pretty sure they are diploid. Yes, yeah. So, the embryo is a diploid. The only time that gymnosperms are haploid are when they sexually reproduce with each other. But when a seed is created, with this? When a seed is created, and this is the future gymnosperm, it also has other contents inside the seed that the gymnosperm can use as nutrients. So that's all it's saying, is that it doesn't have an endosperm, but within this, hard seed encased, basically when you plant it, it can use the nutrients that are stored within the cell, because seeds don't have a host. Like babies within humans, right? We have our human host to feed us and that sort of thing. They eat, we eat. But in terms of gymnosperms that release seeds, they pack all the stuff that, we would eat, we would use to grow into the seed, and then that's how they germinate, and that's what they use. Okay, cool. Let me know. Yeah, awesome. If you need any more clarification, please let me know. I'm going to put the Google form in the chat just once again for people that are coming in and out. I know that we have a few more than we did before. So I have that form in there for you to get your extra credit. But yeah, this is just a Q&A session for those of you walking in here, so there's no content. I will just be here till 7 answering all of your lovely questions. Awesome. Well, I hope everybody is surviving. We're almost finished with this quarter, which is crazy. There's some random person in my driveway. I don't like strangers. Oh, are you? Oh, sorry. So recommendations for the upcoming final. Oh, sorry, was there? I had Dr. Reddy, so my recommendations might be just a bit biased on my experience, but I had Dr. Reddy last year, and something that really helped me for her cumulative exams was honestly to go back and retake the first 2 exams. I know that you've seen the questions before, you might know the answer to those questions, but not just looking over the exam, but really trying to take it again and answer it as you would. I know that can be kind of difficult covering the screen up and whatnot, but that's one thing that I do really recommend. If you are using Pearson text, there are study areas in the back of the book. A lot of times I've found that teachers will reference or may look to Pearson for some of the questions. So I think doing the study area and just going by chapter, it's only, I think, 10 or 20 questions a chapter, and it shows you it's all multiple choice. So that's one way to do it. You could look at your past homeworks. I know that this is just a bunch of regurgitated information, but I would really find a study habit that works for you. Something that's not recommended enough, in my opinion, are breaks. So if you're studying for a long time, if you're looking at things for a long time, really just lay down or do yoga or stretch or something for 10-15 minutes, probably like every hour or something, just to get your brain out of the weeds for a second. But also to know that because it is cumulative, really just focus on the most important parts of each test that were also included or not included. For example, if you know that there's a main subject and they asked a specific question, but you know that there's another important thing they emphasized, maybe focused on what they didn't ask, that sort of thing. And then, is it weird to take lecture online, lab in person? Like, no, do whatever you feel comfortable with. If you just feel comfortable going in for lab and having the online lecture, I think that would work just fine. Whatever, there's no better or worse, I guess. And what's nice about online lecture is that it really is a lecture, and so you just get to absorb information in the comfort of your home if you feel safer that way. So I would say totally do lab in person and take the class at home if that's what you're comfortable with. And yeah, mastering was super helpful. And then, are you talking, when you talk about correlation, are you speaking, what types of graphs are you speaking about? But also, thank you so much for answering each other's questions in the chat. That's really, really, really helpful. And okay, cool. So that's just basically talking about trends within species. Sorry, the only thing too is I know that I do teach for the specific series, but unfortunately I don't have access to mastering and I don't have access to the exams. So I am a little bit in the dark about, I wish that I like could see your exams, and like look at the answers so I could help you guys more and just be more involved in the curriculum. Several continuous variables, and we're asked to identify the correlations. Is this stats? Because I did that in stats. Ooh. Well, I'm sure you guys are doing awesome in the class. I have not gotten an email back, but when I do, I'm sure I'll find a way to let you know. Okay, I see. So I guess I would just draw that out. So this would, if these were two species, that would be a positive correlation. I see that. Actually, if you're taking anything like the NCLEX or the MCAT, a lot of the questions are passage-based and refer to figures or graphs. So, though it might be hard to grasp in the moment, I do think that it can be really helpful just to get exposure to questions like that for the future. And data analyst, that's super cool. What kind of data do you analyze? Oh, whoa. Wow, that's really interesting. Congrats. That's a really cool gig. Yeah, neurology, that's hard too. Neurology is very difficult. I commend you on that a lot. I wish I had a better grasp of neuroscience. Alrighty, just back to school. Yeah, fair enough. Research can, especially in dementia, that's awesome to have that background and be able to apply it. I always think it's beneficial. It's cool when there are doctors who have that research, because I think, maybe there's more of an incentive to research on your own. Not saying that doctors don't research on their own, but just being really familiar with that kind of text, vernacular information, communication is really important and very cool. Um, does anybody have any more questions? Still recall. Oh, I see. So going over and you were talking about, so the question was basically like, during which seasons would sugar sinks Where are the sugar sinks during fall? Oh, I see. So sugar sinks are where the nutrients is going to. Let me see. Don't tell me. I want to remember this. Um, Oh, okay. Now I'm answering. Sorry. So I didn't understand the question properly. So it's just asking, like, during the fall, where are the sugar sinks located within the plant? And so, yeah, the fall is root growth, I believe, and the spring is leaf growth. Is that correct? Because the spring has more sun availability, it has longer days than winter, and the fall is getting ready for winter. I'm pretty sure that Ashlyn in the chat is correct. That it changes from the leaves to the roots. Because photosynthesis is highest in the spring and summer. And so the sugar source is going to be going towards the leaves that, need the energy as they're performing and growing closer to the sun, right? Because there's more availability. So yes, that to the roots is correct. So in terms of asking which season the plant will have more growth upwards, because that's okay, because the only thing that I'm finding challenging with that question, to be frank, is that there is growth downwards in the roots in the fall, as well as growth upwards in the spring and summer. So I honestly, as a student, would want more clarification. But in spring, it would be the leaves, flowers, and roots. That is correct. So it would be the greatest above ground growth. But I agree that should have been a little bit more specific. Oh, don't apologize. That's totally fine. If I'm making it more confusing too, I apologize. Mhm. Ashlyn over here taking my job in the chat. But also, thank you so much for helping. I do really appreciate it. Oh, sorry. Did not mean to do that. Are your bio lectures in person? And are your tests in person? I'm just curious. Attend anywhere. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the same for me and my micro. Yeah, of course. You too. Have a really nice night. I hope you enjoy your service. Alrighty, are there any other questions regarding any material or anything? Unfortunately, I have not received an email back from Dr. Reddy. Oh, sorry, my mic was not on. Um, so the question is asking about if the female ovary protects the the gametophyte or sporophyte. So, sorry, trying to get back into the iPad. In a gametophyte, I'm I'm pretty sure there is a protective layer. Let me double check in my notes. I remember notes from last year about this. I'm pretty sure that there is a protective layer around the ovary, actually. What is it called? Integument? Is that what it's called? There's an outer layer called the integument, I'm pretty sure. Um, and that is for the female gametophyte. I'm actually, yes. Sorry, technical difficulties. I can't, my chat disconnected. Okay. Sorry, I'm back. My apologies, my chat disconnected. Layer of sporophyte tissue that contributes to the structure of an ovule of a seed plant. Oh, sorry, I think I keep reading your questions not correctly. It's totally my brain. So the question was, does the female ovary protect? And then the answers were the female gametophyte or sporophyte. Is that correct? Like the choices for the answer were gametophyte or sporophyte. Okay. Then yes, gametophyte is correct. Sorry about the confusion. I apologize. I totally read that wrong. I thought it was like asking about how a gametophyte or sporophyte protects its ovary, and so I couldn't find anything about the sporophyte, so I was silent for like ages because I was just looking for the sporophyte, and I should have just communicated that earlier. Male, female gametophyte, or male, female. Oh, okay. Yeah. Female gametophyte. For show. I think you got that correct. And if you didn't, then you can definitely let me know. How recent was that test? Because if I recall, doesn't Dr. already give you, it's like a test the week before finals, so like last week? Or this week? Or yesterday? Oosh! And you have a final next week? Ooh, I forgot about that. I definitely blocked that out of my memory. Well, I'm sure you guys are going to do fantastic. You know more than you think you do. Just take a deep breath. DDSA quiz worksheet. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. It all piles up, but it's a nice release by the end of the term. I hope that you guys are going to relax over spring break and stuff. Brutal out here. Oh. Any other questions? How's everybody feeling? Yeah, any questions? I don't know. What I mean, yeah, no, seriously. Um, yeah, of course. Have a good night. If my heart rate drops below 100, I burn out. Oh my gosh. So I think the sporophyte has to do with let me see. I need to look back on my notes about she went in on the plants. I forgot how plant heavy winter term is. There was a lot of content this term about life cycles and plants and evolution. And go over the angiosperm life cycle, absolutely. Um, Sorry guys. Okay, so I think I found the reason to sporophyte versus gametophyte in terms of ovary production. So in terms of gametophytes, um, is a sexual reproduction. So it has zygotes and then forms a diploid organism. So a gametophyte is haploid. It produces sexually, like similar to us, where we have haploid cells and we produce sexually, forms a diploid organism, and so the embryo protects it that way. However, in sporophytes, they go through meiosis and produce spores. And so those spores divide through mitosis and produce like single chromosomed. Hold on, hello? This is. I feel like I'm being duped by myself. Okay, yes, sorry. Okay, so sporophyte phase is diploid. It produces spores through meiosis. Those spores then divide through mitosis and produce haploid, single set of chromosomes, which then can be called gametophytes. And then in that life sexual phase, that's when they form zygotes. So that's when the ovary is protected. You're also going to go over the angiosperm life cycle. Oh, sorry about the chat disappearing. If that needs more clarification, please let me know, because I'm also doing more research. I'm going to say that answer one more time for your and my sanity, and then I'm going to move on to your question about angiosperm life cycles. And thank you so much for your patience. So, and I'm going to write this down because I'm not writing anything down. Linda, write something down. So the fusion of the male and female, or XY whatever, gametes forms a diploid zygote. So we have two gametes. Should do this. Who fuse and produce a diploid zygote, and that develops into the diploid sporophyte. Then that diploid sporophyte produces spores by meiosis, and then we have spore, spore, spore. I'm just going to focus on this one for an example. This divides by mitosis. Which produces little n, so a haploid, now gametophyte. Guess that should be a different color. Or highlighted. I don't know. And then the gametophyte produces gametes, and the cycle continues. So I hope that that helps. I guess better diagram. Okay. I hope that that helps. Of course. Yeah, so this diagram definitely helped me. So this is just kind of the generation phase, and that's why gametophyte was correct, because that's when it's going to protect its gametes. Um, because these guys are reproducing sexually, and the other one is just producing a bunch of tiny spores. Okay, awesome. I'm going to move to the angiosperm life cycle. Thank you so much for your patience. I really, 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 really appreciate it. Wait, I just did that. My gosh, I'm so sorry, you guys. I had a couple finals today, so my brain is a little bit mush. I really appreciate your patience. So, yes, this is the... should have freaking labeled this. Angiosperm life cycle. Awesome. Sorry, you guys. Okay. That's what I was looking at the whole time. I think that I imagined... I was thinking of something different when I was saying that. Anyway. Yeah, good luck on the finals for you guys. Are there any other questions that you have for me? I think I will see you next term. Cool. Awesome. Okay. Have a good night. Good luck with finals next week. Yes, I do have a forum. Let me just send it to you. Okay, sorry that took a while. Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for all of your questions tonight. I'm happy to hear that I was helpful. Please let me know any feedback. I'm hoping to be more in touch with the professors next term and just brush up on the material more myself. So thank you guys for your patience. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and... Cool, awesome, yay, I will see you next term. I'm going to go ahead and close a Twitch and say happy spring break. I really hope that you guys have a killer final week. You're going to do great. You're going to do awesome. Enjoy your spring break. Enjoy your time. Do whatever you want to do that's beneficial to you. All right, you guys. Have an awesome night. I will see you in a few weeks.